Dexterity would be key. Go with ram leather. I don't have a sight? Huh. We'll go with guard damage bonus on this one. Sarah, the armor penetration.
Good.
Alright, armor. Let's see what we can get here. What am I wearing right now in terms of armor? Strong defender? No, so we're good on that. At least have the male arms. Let's go with health and melee defense. Or actually, no, I don't think you can do both, can I? Yes, I can. We'll go with melee defense priority. Then bonus health as secondary. I'm not really going to name anything just yet. I don't really have the need for it. Like scout armor for Sarah. I really don't have much in the way of armor, or pieces for armor. At least now Sarah has something to wear. Make another one of these, one for Blackwall. Some will do Onyx. No, we'll keep it to iron. Again, we still have so much iron to work with. We'll give him something for Constitution. That's all just the same anyways. Alright. Modify our weapons. Already has a Canary slash grip. Damn it! Made that flanking bow for nothing. I didn't even know that was there. Oh well, you live and you learn.
You need something? Let me...
No, I don't want to talk to you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Right.
What I meant to do is look at this, so I can modify armor. So the one for strength is for me. Now finally Sarah can get some armor and some extra weapons. I can stop feeling bad. That flanking damage, though. Oh, see, she can't even use longbow yet, so no, that'll work. That'll do for your armor for now. You're pretty much good on your sword and shield. Yeah, you're good. You just need better armor, maybe. Yeah, your defender armor is crap. Or I give you much better armor. Am I wearing a belt? Iron bowl. Don't need to worry about you just yet. Everybody's good on helmets. Except for you get a funny adventurer's hat. Give you some fire resistance too, alright, why not? Definitely need to get you guys equipped with better armor here soon enough. Almost forgot to modify Eric's thing though. Okay, take a look at Bianca. So we got a crushing sight. We can do better. Or not. Same thing. Damn it! So I did have one already. Yeah, we definitely want dexterity over the constitution. Still like that it changes the blade into something a little more wavy and stabby. There we go. Bianca's upgraded much for the better. No, what do you do? I can sell some of this other stuff in the meantime. Nope. Too many breaches.
Anything you can spare would help the wounded.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot to change them all out for myself. Damn, but that does have armor penetration too. Yeah, screw it. I'll stick with them all for now. Or the dragon one that I have.
Need something?
Well, nothing about the party. We spoke before.
Carry on. And how much did you need?
10 sacks. So, this is it, huh? Oh no, it's fine, yeah? It's just, I thought it'd be bigger. Hear that? I meant the stronghold, but it sounded like... Well, it's funny, right? Anyway, stopping wars should earn more sovereigns than this. Need things back to normal for coins to be flowing again. Another reason the Templars and Mages need to be sat down.
See, that's the thing too. She's very much for just bring things back to some kind of normalcy. He's trying to stop the chaos is her main concern. So it's kind of, I wouldn't use the word selfish because she is doing it because it's not only just for herself, it's for everything, but it's also for herself.
I'm pretty sure the Conclave proved it's not that easy.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
Why? Because someone yelled it real loud? Make them prove it. They're too busy to look up where the real questions are.
That's why we're here. To help guide everyone back from the brink.
The religious ones tell you that. That's important, right? But don't make it all about that. Seems like believing too hard is what got everyone here. And here is stupid. And smells of horse. Really, what everyone needs is to get everything back to normal and proper and profitable. Sound good to you, all-chosen Lord Herald?
I'm ready to give it a shot. That's all I can ask from anyone else.
I'm in. It's an investment, yeah? Better pay off, too. Stupid war and everything. I had things to do.
She's definitely a prankster, too. She has fun with what she does. And, hey, you know, that's what's important. It's the little things that kind of keep you going.
Chasing the Lord Seeker, I hear. Anyone who thinks they need Lord in front of the name, that's bad. Bet he's got a portrait taller than he is. That's your first clue to a total arse. Fact.
What do you think about the people who have gathered?
Which? The ones who do things or the ones who give orders?
What about Solus?
Solus? His head's crammed up 1,000 years ago.
Anything to say about Varric?
Varric? Too clever. Always saying something, but never saying it straight.
Thoughts about Cassandra?
Not as buttoned up as she plays, right? Tough, though. I'd stand behind her in front of anything.
What do you think about our spy master, ambassador, and commander?
Liliana is pretty in places. Swear I've seen her, too. Or heard she used to play. But that'd be mad. Now, Josephine, she's as good at humbling her kind as I am. Just with less mess. Knows her business, if you have to have it. And Cullen, I suppose if you want a jackboot, you get a big one so you can grow into it. Nice hair, though.
What's your opinion of Vivienne?
She's a bitch, but she knows. She better.
Thoughts on Iron Bull?
It makes me wonder about things. I mean, what do their women look like? Woof.
It's kind of messed up.
Any thoughts about Warden Blackwall?
He's too good, right? I'd like to see him out of that uniform. Not like that.
Which means she wants to know who he is. Beyond just the title, Grey Warden. That poor person is stuck in that door back there.
We'll talk later.
Good, right? I'll be here. Chasing mages, that's a Templar's job. A big, armored, pissed-off helm polisher. Not too late to go find some. Or stay home.
Is the Inquisition what you thought it would be?
Calling an Inquisition is a bit much, isn't it? Does not even know what they're chasing. Fair question for me as well, I suppose. Everybody following a rumor. At least I'm used to that.
Tell me about yourself.
What about me?
Your skill. Who taught you how to use a bow?
No one.
That seems unlikely.
What? I picked it up here and there. Mostly it just makes sense. It's not like that for you.
Oh, certainly. Not a day's effort for the naturally gifted like us.
Well, it's not like that. It takes work. A bit. Not like Cullen and his pets. I mean, you miss, then you don't. Is it that hard to see when it's wrong?
Is it an elf thing?
Most I know couldn't find an arrow sitting on it. Right. Maybe I just make it look easy in shite company. Fact still is, no teacher. Where would I find one in alleyways anyway?
How about the basics? Where are you from?
Ferelden?
I got that from the accent. Where in Ferelden?
All over? Okay, fine. Denerim for a bit. south, north, wherever I want.
There are no connections you want to mention at all?
Nope.
How very Kunari of you.
What?
Never mind.
Good, right?
Oh, that's great.
You're not like most of the elves I've met.
Thanks, right? Or was that an insult? Suppose I could go barefoot and whine more. Like that Solus, right? Never be as good as we were. Well, who's we? I'm just fine.
I think there's more to it than that. A few thousand years more.
Hey, someone wants to be angry about old debts, be angry. Be a terror that never lets an enemy forget. But if you're digging it up so you can wear it, that's just weird. I mean, the Dalish don't really know. They have stories, but that's all they are. It's all fancy dress, not history.
We'll talk later.
If you say so.
It's true, though. I mean, it's important to at least hold some semblance of the culture, though.
What can I do for you?
I'd like to know more about you, Solus.
Why?
You're an apostate. Yet you risked your freedom to help the Inquisition.
Not the wisest course of action when framed that way.
I appreciate the work you're doing, Solus. I just wanted to know more about you.
I'm sorry. With so much fear in the air. What would you know of me?
What made you start studying the Fade?
I grew up in a village to the north. There was little to interest a young man, especially one gifted with magic. But as I slept, spirits of the Fade showed me glimpses of wonders I had never imagined. I treasured my dreams. Being awake, out of the Fade, became troublesome.
Did spirits try to tempt you?
No more than a brightly colored fruit is deliberately tempting you to eat it. I learned how to defend myself from more aggressive spirits, and how to interact safely with the rest. I learned how to control my dreams with full consciousness. There was so much I wanted to explore.
I gather you didn't spend your entire life dreaming.
No. Eventually, I was unable to find new areas in the Fade.
Why?
2 reasons. First, the Fade reflects the world around it. Unless I traveled, I would never find anything new. Second, the Fade reflects and is limited by our imaginations. To find interesting areas, one must be interested.
Huh.
Is this why you joined the Inquisition?
I joined the Inquisition because we were all in terrible danger. If our enemies destroyed the world, I would have nowhere to lay my head while dreaming of the Fade.
I wish you luck.
Thank you. In truth, I've enjoyed experiencing more of life to find more of the Fade.
How so?
You strengthen your body to deliver and withstand punishment. The muscles are an enjoyable side benefit. You have chosen a path whose steps you do not dislike because it leads to a destination you enjoy. As have I.
You said you traveled to many different places.
This world, or its memory, is reflected in the Fade. Dream in ancient ruins, you may see a city lost to history. Some of my fondest memories were found in crumbling cities, long picked dry by treasure seekers, the best of the battlefields. Spirits press so tightly on the veil that you can slip across with but a thought.
See, I like the fact that all you have to do is just ask a question, just be inquisitive, and you gain approval with Solus. It's just that easy.
Any place in particular?
I dreamt at Ostigard. I witnessed the brutality of the Darkspawn and the valor of the Ferelden warriors. I saw Alistair and the hero Ferelden light the signaled fire, and Logain's infamous betrayal of Kaelin's forces.
I've heard the stories. It would be interesting to hear what it was really like.
That's just it. In the Fade, I see reflections created by spirits who react to the emotions of the warriors. One moment, I see heroic wardens lighting the fire, and a power-mad villain sneering as he lets King Kaelin fall. The next, I see an army overwhelmed and a veteran commander refusing to let more soldiers die in a lost cause.
You can't tell which is real.
It is the Fade. They are all real.
Have you always traveled and studied alone?
Not at all. I have built many lasting friendships. Spirits of wisdom, possessed of ancient knowledge, happy to share what they had seen. Spirits of purpose helped me search. Even wisps, curious and playful, would point out treasures I might have missed.
I don't know of any spirits by those names.
They rarely seek this world. When they do, their natures do not often survive exposure to the people they encounter. Wisdom and purpose are too easily twisted to pride and desire.
You're saying that you became friends with Pride and Desire demons?
They were not demons for me.
Meaning?
The Fade reflects the minds of the living. If you expect a spirit of wisdom to be a pride demon, it will adapt. And if your mind is free of corrupting influences, if you understand the nature of the spirit, they can be fast friends.
I'm impressed that you could become friends with spirits.
Anyone who can dream has the potential. Few ever try. My friends comforted me in grief and shared my joy. Yet, because they exist without form, as we understand it, the Chantry declares that spirits are not truly people. Is Cassandra defined by her cheekbones and not her fate? Varric by his chest hair and not his wit?
Well, spirits kind of do have free will. I mean, they're spirits. You don't need a body to be real, necessarily. If you believe in ghosts and spirits and whatnot, to where clearly we see demons and spirits, so it's not like they don't exist. Can't argue the fact. So I'd say, yeah, in a sense, spirits are people, kind of. In a sense. At least more so than Darkspawn.
I hadn't thought about it that way. But I see your point.
Thank you. Few are willing to entertain such a notion.
I definitely believe spirits are more complex.
We'll talk later.
Goodbye.
Did I ever get him his potion thingy? I forget.
Flister said...
You're back. And in one piece.
Yeah, I did. Now I remember. Goodbye.
Farewell.
I'm gonna speak to Vivian.
With passion's breath does the darkness creep. It is the wind.
I met an elven mage earlier. Solus, I believe he was called. I admit I was surprised. I didn't expect to find mages among the Inquisition. Tell me, why were you at the Divine Conclave?
He does believe the circle needs to be restored. In a different way.
The Circle had plenty of problems, but it's an institution we sorely need.
I wish more people understood the truth of this. Justinia's death has shattered the balance of power in Thedas. If it is not restored quickly, countless lives will be lost. Mages, Templars, innocent people of all kinds now look to the Inquisition to decide their fate.
That's why you wanted to be here. To have a hand in deciding that fate.
Wouldn't you? For almost 1,000 years, the world believed it was in the hands of the Maker. And now many believe you are the agent of his will. Whatever the truth is, that belief gives you power.
Oh, you believe Andraste showed you?
I was given this blessing by Andraste herself. The power is not mine, but hers.
We can only hope she offers you better guidance than she does the rest of us. I've stolen enough of your time, my dear. Don't let me keep you. Yes?
More talky.
I wanted to ask you about the Circle of Magi.
Of course. What do you wish to know?
If the Circle disbanded, how can you still belong to it?
The Circle is an idea, my dear. And an idea cannot be dissolved. Many of the first enchanters voted for rebellion, caring little that anything short of a unanimous decision would pit mage against mage. Rather than dissolving it, Grand Enchanter Fiona's vote split the Circle in two. The rebels follow her, the loyalists follow me.
If you lead all the loyalists, why are you only First Enchanter and not Grand Enchanter?
Grand Enchanters are elected, and since there are no First Enchanters besides myself, no vote can be held. I could name myself Grand Enchanter, but the title holds no meaning now. When the circles are restored, that will change.
Excuse me.
What was it like to live in a circle?
My dear, your question is the root of all problems with mages. I cannot tell you. Every circle was different. Their Templars were different, their politics unique. And every person within each tower had an experience of circle life unique to themselves. Some people suffered and some were content. Some were cruel, some compassionate, and some indifferent. The same is true of people everywhere, in all circumstances, whether they are mages or not.
See, there's a lot of wisdom to those words, too, because a lot of people, especially just other fans such as myself, well, I don't believe this, but a lot of people, there's quite a few fans that do, that these circles nothing but a complete and utter jail, and all mages are mistreated all the time, Templars are complete dicks, and it's just awful, awful, bad, needs to end altogether. And just like a lot of things, I think it's a little bit more complex than that. There's more to it. And like she said, it's different for everybody. Everybody has different experiences, just like people out there in the real world who are mages or not just in the circle.
Tell me about your personal experience with the Circle.
I enjoyed life in the Montsimard Circle, my dear. It was an edifice devoted to knowledge and refinement. And mages need the company of other mages. No one else can truly understand the challenges we face, nor see the world as we do.
You must have been under constant supervision, being forced by Templars to live in the tower. Was that hard to endure?
My dear, I have a suite in the palace and a wing at my dear Duke Bastien's estate. I've never been forced to live anywhere. Most circles allowed mages to live away from the tower, either on their own or in service to the nobility. All that was required was permission from the first enchanter. Some circles were harsher in their restrictions. Kirkwall was the worst, but it was the exception. Most were quite permissive. Perhaps too permissive, in retrospect.
No, I wouldn't say it's too permissive. I think they're in the proper amount of permissiveness. But I think they could be a little more permissive in certain aspects, or at least certain areas.
How did we come to this state with the circles in revolt?
A failure of perspective that infected circle leadership. Mages lived solely in a world of Templars and mages. They could not even imagine what was beyond the tower walls. Kirkwall gave the world a reason to remember its fear of magic. A mage killed hundreds with a snap of their fingers. Across Thedas, a new tangible fear of magic grew. Commoners and nobles alike called out to the Chantry for protection. But the malcontents in the towers thought nothing of this. They cared only for themselves and for their anger at the new Templar restrictions. When a mage attempted to assassinate Divine Justinia, again, the mages protested the investigation. The leadership chose to vote on independence based on the intolerable conditions imposed by the Templars, sparing no thought to the fact that magic was more feared in the aftermath of these attacks than it had been since Tevinter's day. So long as they had their freedom, they could care little for riots, angry mobs, or about pitting mages against each other.
And again, another interesting outlook, especially because it's coming from a mage.
Yes?
I wanted to ask you about the Circle of Magi.
Of course. What do you wish to know?
How did we come to this state with the circles in revolt?
A failure of perspective that infected circle leadership. Mages lived solely in a world of Templars and mages. They could not even imagine what was beyond the tower walls. Kirkwall gave the world a reason to remember its fear of magic. A mage killed hundreds with a snap of their fingers. Across Thedas, a new tangible fear of magic grew. Commoners and nobles alike called out to the Chantry for protection. But the malcontents in the towers thought nothing of this. They cared only for themselves and for their anger at the new Templar restrictions. When a mage attempted to assassinate Divine Justinia, again, the mages protested the investigation. The leadership chose to vote on independence based on the intolerable conditions imposed by the Templars, sparing no thought to the fact that magic was more feared in the aftermath of these attacks than it had been since Tevinter's day. So long as they had their freedom, they could care little for riots, angry mobs, or about pitting mages against each other.
Are you familiar with Grand Enchanter Fiona?
We've met. Before her horrendously ill-timed and selfish vote for independence, I thought her adequate at her job. In her dotage, she could not handle looking after the well-being of so many people. We would have done better to replace her years ago, to let her spend time gardening.
Did they have cause to rebel?
In the aftermath of their terrorist attacks? Was that really the most opportune time to break away? By all means, protest abuses by the Templars. Just don't do it in a way that says mages support wholesale murder. By voting when they did, my colleagues all but declared war upon the ordinary people of Thedas. A war in which we are outnumbered 100 to 1.
And see, that's really unfortunate too, because she makes a very good point. That's kind of the reason why I do like Vivian's character, because she provides a different perspective that a lot of people don't consider, given that she is a mage. And of course she may have ulterior motives, as a lot of people may suspect. We're not sure. We'll figure out as we progress. But at the same time, she makes valid points to try and consider. Because wanting to go ahead and rebel against the Chantry and the Circle at that exact time, after Anders went ahead and just blew up a Chantry and caused all of these things, was really not the proper time to do so. Even if it is solely just for the reason of protesting against the Templars.
I thought the fighting was only between mages and Templars. Why are mages fighting mages?
The vote for independence was carried by only a small margin, but Fiona chose to let the motion stand. Those who opposed a rash declaration of war against the entire free world had little choice. By breaking from the Chantry when they did, the rebels declared themselves in support of mass murder. Anyone who did not wish to support terrorism and the slaughter of innocents was forced to take arms against the rebels.
See what else we can find.
Yes?
I'd like to know more about you, Madame Vivienne.
Whatever would you like to know?
Your accent's not Orlesian. Where exactly are you from?
I am from the Circle, my dear. One's country of origin rarely matters there. But if you must know, I was born in Wycombe in the Free Marches. I was sent to the Ostwick Circle, but I transferred to Monsignor while still an apprentice.
See, I think I may have done some of these before, but as you can tell by the difference of attire, it's been almost a week since I last played. So I may ask some of these over again, so bear with me.
I'm curious how a Circle mage winds up a courtier.
Nobody winds up at court, my dear. It takes a great deal of effort to arrive there. I caught the eye of Duke Bastien de Ghislaine, an advantageous connection that opened many doors. When the position of Enchanter to the Imperial Court became vacant, I was able to secure it.
You're married to the Duke de Ghislaine.
Of course not, my dear. Don't be ridiculous. Marriage is the business of alliance and inheritance. I'm Bastien's mistress.
What duties does a court enchanter have?
I am tasked with providing assistance to the Empress on arcane matters. Most of my predecessors restricted this to lighting lamps and doing parlor tricks. In such troubled times as these, however, I provide political advice to Her Majesty on the subject of the Mage Rebellion. Yes?
Here, we'll go with this.
Is there anything I can do to help your efforts at restoring the Circle?
After the Circles fell, their libraries were plundered by scavengers. 1,000 years of recorded knowledge in the hands of bandits. It makes me sick to think of it. I've received news that some tomes have been located, if you are interested in righting this wrong.
I'll look into it for you.
If you can take care of this matter, the Circle would be in your debt.
Then we got another personal mission. Nose itches.
When there was no sky maker, you were the sky. When there was no...
Hey, it's you again.
See, I was hoping there'd be an option for her to open up the
I'll be
cells
back.
down below. Maybe I need to go look at them first.
These truths the Maker has
See what we have in regards to inner circle stuff. So we have all of our peoples. So after we're wrapping up here, we'll go ahead and head off to see the Templars. They're looking like. But overall, I think I got pretty close to my facial features. You can see I was constantly looking at the phone and all that other good stuff, but let's continue.